Hi everybody, welcome into the kitchen. It's a little bit cooler out today and I decided it was time to meet you in here because I've been bad and I have to share it with you. Sometimes you can't resist. Jack says, "Do you really need another orchid?" Yes! Of course I could say, "Do you really need another guitar?" Or a tool. No, I'm not like that. I just let it go and he lets me go. So, okay, we have an orchid. We're going to do a few jobs today. And I want to say thanks for everybody that joins me with this. And a special hello to those people that are shut in the house or not feeling well for any reason, or finding an ache and pain or a hornet sting. It will pass, and thanks for spending your time with me and all the good people that join the channel. So here we go. We have lots to cover, so we better get at it. So we are going to use this pot, which is a sewer pot that I did a dirty pour on, which gives it a real nice finish. It's almost like porcelain, and I've been very happy. I've used it on a few pots, and you can see the black of the sewer pot in there. And we're doing good with the sewer pot, and Jack put a little strain in there to stop the things from going through. And so we're going to put 3 minis that I have from, if you remember, I did a video on a bark display I had. And my 3 species minis I put on it. And one flowered, the Haraella retrocalla. It flowered 2 or 3 times, but the others were stagnant. And I found the bark mulch too much work for in the house. I was always having to almost water it every morning. Instead of once a week when they're in the house, it was every morning. And for all that work, no real change. So I wasn't liking how they looked, and I had put them together in here. Well, I decided what to do with them. And whoops. Just move that out the way. And some of them have new little roots here that have been coming through the holes. I was scared they're going to get knocked off going in and out of the thing. But that would be the Phal Anna-Larati Seekardi. Now, very little information on the internet on any of these. On the Haraella retrocalla, which is the small little one right here, there is, and that's exactly what the flowers look like. And it does quite well. So I'm thinking I'm going to put it in the top, and I have the other 2 I'm going to put on the sides. Now, let's discuss. Let me go over here for a minute. I just brought them on a pot from outside. And I went back and I looked at the repot, you know, and there was something different that happened to this pot than happened to my other ones. And yes, it was just bark. But I remember I had picked up a little bag at a garage sale. Naturally, you know me, it's hopeless. What did I do with that little thing? Yeah, of lava rock. And there was quite a bit of it in with the bark because I'd had quite a bit. And there's a real close-up of one of the small pieces. Anyway, that is lava rock. And it was mixed in with the bark fairly liberally. And these have been very healthy from day one. And they never really suffered any root change or they've just been completely happy. So this was a little bit larger sewer pot than this one. And these are the smaller phalaenopsis, and they're not species. But you can see the difference here. So this is Jack's paint job, and the first one we did, and they're very happy in there. So, now, this one is going to get those. But first, before we do that, this is where I was bad today. Okay, I picked up an orchid today. As you can see, it's beautiful. I think the reason I was tempted was because most of mine aren't flowering right now. They're all resting outside. I have this one in flower, and I have the slipper orchid ready to flower, but they're not in flower, and I was, I have to admit, tempted. So, but it's in moss, so I've just brought it home, and what we're going to do is I'm going to drop pot it. I'm not potting it today because I don't have enough bark soaked, and you definitely want to soak your bark, because what happens with the bark is it's very dry, and for a long time it's not really absorbing any water when you put your orchid in. It's passing over the bark, and it's not really soaking in and holding that humidity. So the first month or so that your orchids are in the bark, they're drying out quicker. Now, some people say because they're drying out quicker, it's actually better for them, because if they've been in moss and the roots have been compacted inside that moss. Now, it's hard to tell with limp leaves whether it's from too much water or not enough, because it can be both. And if you look at this orchid, because it's been sitting a while, this leaf is going to drop off. Oh, I can understand. This one here is limp and starting to get limp. Now, what could be happening inside here is, if it's compacted, the roots are already getting quite. There could be, we're starting to rot. They've absorbed so much moisture, they're not getting any air, which they do need. And the damage is starting to show already on some of these leaves. And the last two seem fine, but the older ones are going to go first. So let's quickly do this, because we've got lots to do. So I haven't had time yet. It's very wet. So this is how it looks. Okay, the outside always looks, I'm going to be cleaning my floor. So I got my cupboard here as a compost. So I think I'm just going to put it right in the compost. See. Oh, my brother's on Skype downstairs over here, people talking. He lives on the coast, and my brother and I get along really good. He's a year older than me, and his name is Brian, and we've never fought. Maybe when we were little over a TV show, when TV was just black and white, maybe we fought then, but we've never fought, and he's been always very protective of me, and I don't think anybody can have a better brother. But we grew up on the coast, like Burnaby, Vancouver area, and Burnaby was the country back then, and he stayed there, and of course I moved around. Yeah, I moved up to the very northern tip of Vancouver Island, and that is the woods, believe me. That is the end of the world. And it rains like 400 days. It just rains and rains and winds and winds, and yeah. So yeah, I've been there, and I ran the first water taxi off halfway down the island off the coast at a place called Banfield. So started to, oh my goodness, I remember I took off. I was trying to learn by myself how to run a boat, and I ran the boat out, and then the next thing I know, I'm on the shore of the place next to me, and I remember someone in the house going, "There's some broad out in our beach." Anyway, it wasn't long after that I was running people around, and I could write a book about that. Oh dear. Crazy times. So anyway, what am I noticing about this other than I'm putting it all over the floor? I'm noticing a smell. That's for sure. I'm noticing a smell. And in here, right in here, I'm finding dead roots. So now, you might think these roots could carry nutrition to the plant already, you know, but if some are already so compacted, that's happening. Anyway, what I'm going to do right now for this one, because I might show you when I repot it, but what I'm going to do right now is I've freed it. I'm going to let it breathe, and I'm going to drop pot it, which is just removing most of the moss, sitting it in a pot until which will probably be tomorrow, which probably then, maybe you sit there and be good, try and look like you're potted properly, and sit there. You can't see the floor. So anyway, that's drop potting. It's in there. It's at least out of that moss. And yes, some of the original leaves may show some shock, but I'm going to be running an experiment because, oh, I think I wrote his name down. Anyway, I did have a comment. Why am I letting my leaves get wrinkly? Well, it is hard sometimes with those original leaves, but I'm not making excuses because, like I say, besides bark, this one had lava rock and I never noticed anything. So what I have done, let's get at it. Now, oh, I forgot my, oh well, that's okay, I can sprinkle on later. So I got a bunch of old bricks. So Jack pounded at some and got me some nice little pieces to put for weight in the bottom of this. And plus I was reading in one of my really old orchid books more about slipper orchids and stuff, and they like brick, and they like that's what my slipper orchids have with them too. They have the white cement that puts the bricks together, and it puts calcium in, so they're doing really good. The spike's not up high enough to show it off today, but so what we're going to do, instead of lava rock, because I want to start, I like to use not too much. I like straight bark, but okay, some of the smaller pots are getting dry a little quicker than the big ones. The big ones I can water once a week. Even now I could probably get away with that. But the little ones are drying out pretty fast. Now I have some bricks that we, Jack and I chopped into some little pieces, and they've been soaking. So what happens is similar to the flower pots made of the same stuff. They hold moisture and they keep the plant nice and humid, but they also wick and dry off quicker. But when these are inside, maybe settle down. When these are inside on the bottom, according to this book, then what happens is they stay moisture a little longer than the bark when the bark is new, and so the humidity will rise off the bricks. So this is the plan. So instead of lava rock, I'm putting most of this brick on the bottom, which I'm going to do right now. There. Of course, I got bark mixed in with it too. So once the bottom part is full with brick, so that's, I hope, going to help improve the humidity in the pot. And don't laugh, those people that are not thinking this is going to work, because I don't know, the lava worked, and it was smaller little pieces all spread within. And I am going to spread a little bit in between once I get the bottom full. So, and then some of my bark is very big pieces, and these are just little tiny minis. So I'm thinking I took my pruners and I cut up some of my bark pieces to be a little bit smaller. So I have, I don't know if you can see down there, we got some brick for weight. So now, these are my smaller pieces of bark. Okay, this is what we have. You cut it out. You've been bad today, and we don't want any noise. Okay, this is, we'll get it out of here. Whoop. Come on. No, no, no. There. So the roots look pretty good. They've been in there being kind of spoiled. There we go. This is Phal, Anna-Larati, Seekardi. And then, for anybody that's really up on this stuff, it's Potarima and Parisha cross. You cut out. So, this, we got this one. And we have this one. This is Haraella retrocalla, which I showed you. The roots are so tiny. Some are dried. So I want it to get a little more humidity than it's getting. And what I found is so far I just haven't reached the right combination for them, that they're not thriving, but they are starting to look better. And this one is, okay, this one is Seagulls crawfish pie. So here's the funny thing, there's very little people showing these on the internet. So here we have this one, and we have some new leaves coming, but still not the growth I'm hoping. So here we are, we have them. Here's my nicely wetted, chopped up bark, and there's some charcoal in this one, so I'm going to put a little bit of what they were in the bottom. And so what it is there's a bit of charcoal and some of the bigger pieces of wood, because their roots are not down very far. Okay, that's a good start. Now we'll save that and wet it. Okay, now poor little rascals. You know, I'm hopeful. You know, sometimes you just have to twig for your area a little bit. And I'm not going off the fur bark. I like it, but like I say, I'm trying to improve the quality. It always pays to try and improve yourself or your plants. I always try to improve myself, but you know, some of your habits, like being an alcoholic, it's hard. Anyway, it's beautiful, isn't it? We have to have some fun in life. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is put the healthiest, let me see. Yeah, this one has the biggest roots, so we'll put it on the top. There we go. Oh, be careful. I don't want to break it. Could have. Okay, let's just very carefully put that there. I should have chopped up more. See, well, and I don't want to sink them too low, which is, which I think I did. I do sometimes when all of them, you don't want to sink them too low because there's more chance of rot if you're misting or whatever. Okay, there's a few little bricks in here. Okay, now, this is what they've been in, so this one is quite high up. Yeah, we don't need much more in there. So we just want to put a little one in there. And so I'm just going to show you what this is going to look like, because what I'm going to do is cut up a couple more small pieces of bark. So this is how they're going to start. This is how it is. My dog is crying. Hey, shh. She's crying. She's complaining because we've been busy today. But this is the new one. Cross your fingers. Let's see how it works. Now, that brick's a long ways down the pot. Unless these roots start to grow a lot, it's going to take a while for them to even get there. So what I'm hoping is that when I'm watering day and I soak it for 5 minutes, those bricks will hold the humidity a little longer than new bark does. So, because they're in the smaller pots, they dry out quicker. So let's try that. I feel like I'm walking in seaweed. I don't know. Carolyn, Carolyn, Carolyn. Anyway, everybody, thanks for joining me. We'll see how things go. I'll try to get back to you when I repot the other one that's just been drop potted. And please have fun with your orchids and your life. And you know, we're always thinking of you. You're never too far away. So thanks again. Thanks for all the subscribers and the lovely comments. And I'm off today to clean the floor and get a few extra chores done for today. Oh, yeah. I even got my tomatoes now. I've got 6 quarts. See? Yes, I got 6 quarts. Anybody that's canning and is interested, if you have a good blender, I have a Blend Tech. I had the lesser model, and then I got the industrial one because I use it 2 or 3 times a day because I make bread with it, juice with it, all kinds of things. So you can wash your tomatoes, throw them right in your blender. There is no seeds, no skin, no nothing left, and you end up with beautiful juice. You cook it after it's been in the blender. You cook it for about 15 minutes, put it in jars, put it under boiling water for 45 minutes, and you can use this for soup, tomato juice, sauces, casseroles. You can add anything you want for spices, and it is our most often used homemade product. Okay, I'm gone. I'm out of here. See ya.